If you've ever left the salon feeling like your haircut made your face look rounder, you are not imagining it. Some cuts can really enhance roundness, but the right ones do the exact opposite. They draw attention to what makes round faces so beautiful and so unique, which is their soft and very youthful looking features. Today I'm sharing 5 haircuts that flatter and enhance those very features. Let's get into it. First, let's quickly go over facial proportions and what actually makes a face shape round. A round face is usually about the same width and length with soft curves and very few sharp angles. The cheeks tend to be the fullest part of the face, and the jawline and hairline are usually more curved than they are defined. If you're not sure whether or not you have a round face, here's a quick check. Stand in front of a mirror with your hair pulled back. If your face has a rounded hairline, a rounded jawline, it's equally long as it is wide, and you don't have prominent cheekbones or any angular features, there's a very good chance that your face is round. Before we get into some flattering haircuts, I just want to say one quick thing. As a stylist, I have seen it time and time again. Clients with round faces are often the most self-conscious about their face shape, and truthfully, that's always made me a little sad because round faces are genuinely so beautiful. They tend to look more youthful than any other face shape, and they're often incredibly symmetrical too. There's just so much to appreciate about this shape, and the key with haircuts is just simply finding the right structure or the right length to balance out all of that natural softness in the face. So let's get into the cuts that do exactly that. The long bob, also known as the lob. This cut usually falls right around the collarbone or just below, and that bit of extra length helps draw the eye line downward, giving the illusion of a longer, more balanced face shape. Now, if you really want to make the lob work hard for a round face, here's what to focus on. The first thing is a deep side part. This can be such a game changer. It instantly creates a look of more volume on top, which visually elongates the face. It also breaks up the symmetry of the roundness by directing attention upwards and across the face rather than straight across the cheeks. The second thing that you can focus on is adding side swept bangs. A soft side swept bang creates a diagonal line that slims the face and carves out structure around the cheekbones. It's really like contouring, but with hair. So if you've always wanted to try bangs, but worried that they just wouldn't suit your rounder face, side bangs are one option that I know for a fact really works well with round face shapes. Regardless of that though, whether you get bangs or choose not to, this cut in and of itself is super versatile. It works on straight, wavy, or even curly textures, and you can style it super sleek or naturally tousled, depending on your personal style. It's always been a classic and very popular cut for a reason. The shag. This modern interpretation of the shag is such a flattering and honestly such a fun option for women with round faces. It's the haircut of the year, I swear. I've been seeing it everywhere and I absolutely love it on almost everyone. This cut is all about layers, choppy, face framing pieces that add volume at the crown and softness through the jawline. For round faces, that volume up top is key. It creates the illusion of facial length, while the layering along the sides helps carve in some shape so your face doesn't feel too wide or too bottom heavy. What I love about a shag is that it gives you that undone, effortless vibe, but with structure built right in. You get movement, shape, and a bit of edge all at once. Again, side swept or curtain bangs work beautifully in a shag. Curtain bangs can be a bit of a hit or miss for round faces because they cut in the middle, so they can flatten the volume on top and bring more focus to the cheeks. But when they're cut and styled properly for this face shape, meaning that they softly taper off at the sides, you still have some lift at the roots, they can actually be really flattering. The key is keeping a bit of height at the top so that the overall shape still draws the eyes vertically. One thing to keep in mind before we move on is that this cut is especially good if you have thicker hair. If your hair is fine or thin, all of that layering can take away too much weight and make it look too wispy on the ends. It is really important to find a great senior stylist who has experience cutting shags specifically to cut this for you. Not every hairstylist is able to execute this well. It is not an easy haircut to do, so do your research before you book in for it. Just had to put it out there and warn you, I've seen this go wrong more times than I've seen it go well. But when it goes well, it goes really well. The angled bob. If you like something a little more polished and structured, an angled bob is a really chic option for a round face. This cut is shorter in the back and gradually gets longer towards the front, hitting 1 to 2 inches below the chin. That angled shape adds instant definition and also creates the illusion of length, which helps balance out the roundness of the face beautifully. I always recommend going just a bit longer than the jawline. If you have a very round face, anything that hits right at the chin can actually emphasize width and heaviness a lot. So keeping the front pieces slightly longer gives you that face framing effect while still feeling very modern and fresh. And just like with the other styles, a deep side part can make a big difference here too. It opens up the face, breaks up the symmetry of the features, and adds a lot of lift at the roots. This cut is a great option if you have fine hair because it's mostly blunt, meaning that the hair falls in one solid line, so it doesn't rely on much layering, which helps keep the ends looking really thick. When there's less layering, the hair appears fuller and thicker overall. Plus, the slight graduation in the back adds natural volume at the crown, giving your hair lift so that it doesn't fall flat. The textured Pixie. If you've ever thought about doing something bold with your hair and you have a round face, a textured Pixie can be an incredibly flattering option as long as it's done the right way. The key here is volume at the crown and some piecey textured layers throughout the top. The lift on top helps visually elongate the face, while the texture adds movement and structure. So you're not just left with a helmet of hair. It creates height where you want it and softness where you need it. What you want to avoid with a round face is a super uniform bowl styled Pixie. That can really emphasize roundness and make the face look even shorter than it is. But when the cut is longer and more layered at the top, tighter at the sides and back, it draws the eye line upward and brings more balance to the face shape. This Pixie cut is also amazing for showing off your eyes. It really opens up the face and gives you this fresh, confident energy. And the best part is that it is super stylish. Long layers with face framing sections. Long layers are a soft, subtle way to add shape to a round face without losing that length that you love. If you're new to layers, a good place to start is just below the chin. When the first layer sits below the cheeks, you avoid adding width to the widest part of the face, and instead you create vertical movement that helps elongate and balance your proportions. I also love incorporating soft face framing pieces that taper in around the jawline or collarbone. They pull the eye downward and give just enough structure without feeling harsh. You can style them with a slight bend or wave that flips away from the face, and then you'll instantly add dimension and playfulness to the cut. You can really have fun with those pieces. They make a big impact without a drastic change. If you want something a little more dramatic than that, the butterfly cut is a great variation on this. It gives you that bouncy, lifted volume at the crown while still maintaining length through the ends. It's a beautiful balance of softness meets structure and works really well on round faces because it brings all of the focus upwards and adds movement without too much bulk at the side. Just a quick note for my fine hair sisters again, be careful not to overlayer so you don't get those thin, stringy ends. If your hair's on the finer side, even if you love the butterfly cut, do not do it aggressively. Focus on face framing layers if you have the density at the front for it, and keep the back more blunt to maintain fullness. You'll still get shaping, but you won't lose all that weight in the baseline. I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you've been thinking about getting bangs and want to know which ones work best for your face shape, I have a whole video on bangs and facial proportions that you can watch right here. And if you're over 50 and looking for a fresh haircut that flatters your features, check out this video next because this one's over.